What's up, everybody? Welcome back. My name is Larissa. Today I'm feeling a little under the weather, so if my voice sounds a little funky, that's why. But we are going to be keeping it nice and basic today, so if you're completely new to yoga, this is a great one for you, or if you're feeling a little under the weather like me, this is a great one just to get a little gentle movement into your day. So let's get started in a cross-legged position. And let's bring the hands to the knees and close the eyes for a moment. Just settling into our mat, settling into our posture. And then coming to your breath. Just noticing the inhale and exhale as it moves naturally. No need to change or judge it. Feeling your ribs expand and collapse. And then see if you can move the crown of your head so it's right over your sit bones. Usually that means just leaning back a little bit. Feel your sit bones solidly on the mat. And on your next inhale, get a little taller through the spine, like somebody's pulling you with a string from the crown of your head. Then maybe on your exhale, you can find a little softness in your face, in your shoulders, wherever it naturally kind of comes to you. Let's do one more breath like that, breathing in, finding a little length. And exhale, finding a little softness. Beautiful. Now that we've taken that moment to kind of center in, bring ourselves into our bodies, into this present moment, let's continue. So you can blink the eyes back open nice and slow. And then as you're ready, just start to drop one ear down to the shoulder. Getting a nice stretch in the opposite side of the neck. And then bring it up and over, dropping the other ear over to the other shoulder. Again, just enjoying that stretch. Bring the head up to center. Then drop the chin down to your chest. Let the head hang. Let gravity just kind of do the work for you here, feeling the stretch going in between your shoulder blades down the back. Then on your next inhale, you can gently lift the head back up. Send the gaze up to the sky so your chin is slightly lifted. Then on your next inhale, press your shoulders down and lift your heart up so you're getting a stretch kind of in the upper chest area, maybe a little bit in the front side of the neck. And then just relax it back down. Take the hands a little bit wider. Then on your inhale, take your right hand up. And on the exhale, bring it up and over the body. You can bend the elbow here or maybe just walk the hand out. You just want to keep your sit bones on the mat and getting long through the right side of the body. Sometimes thinking about turning your heart up towards the sky can feel good. Just keeping that bottom shoulder away from the ear. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, rise back up. Bring the right hand down, left arm to the sky. So reach up and over on the inhale, getting long through that left side body. And then as you exhale, you can come down. You can either just bend that elbow or maybe crawl the hand a little bit further away from you. But you're anchoring your sit bones down into the mat. Then you can gently turn your heart up towards the sky. And the gaze can be wherever you want it to be. So if looking up feels good, that's fine. If looking straight ahead feels better, or maybe looking all the way down at the mat. Breathing in and breathing out. Slowly rise back up. Let's switch the cross of the legs here. So just lean back and then switch. So whatever leg was on top, bring it to the bottom. Then you're going to take your hands in front of you, start to walk forward until your hips are like, I'm good, let's just stay there. So that's going to be a little bit different for all of us, just going to your own degree. You can drop the chin slightly to lengthen the back of the neck. And then start to walk over to the right side. Stretching into the left side of the body a bit more. Still anchoring the sit bones into the mat. Breathing in and breathing out. Coming back through center. And then walk it over to the left. Breathing into the right side body now. Then bring it back through center. Start to walk those hands back up to the body. And again, leaning back, switch the legs. And bring the hands back down in front of you. Try to find a long spine here. So anchoring the sit bones down, getting tall through the spine, and then walking forward from there, still trying to keep that length. So if you feel yourself really rounding in the upper back, that's a sign that maybe that's where you're at today. Then from there, you can walk over to the right side. Breathing in, breathing out. Walking back through center, nice and slow. And then over to your left. Breathing into the right side ribs. And then bringing it back to center. Walk those hands back up. And then we're going to come into a tabletop. So come onto all fours, hands and knees. Your hands are underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide and give your mat a little grip with the fingertips. Then your knees are underneath your hips at about hip width distance. You can leave those toes tucked or untucked, whatever feels good to you. As you inhale, drop the belly down, lift up your heart, lift up your head. Let's just hang out here for a moment. Drawing the shoulder blades down the back as you lift the heart up. Breathing in and breathing out. Take another inhale. And then exhale. Start to round the spine all the way up through the shoulders, pressing the mat away from you. You can look back at your belly button or maybe in between the legs. Holding it here, pressing the floor away, really stretching in between those shoulders. And then on your inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the head. Exhale, press and round, coming back to the cat. So we're going to move a little bit more dynamically on this one. Just do a few more at your own pace. As you inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the head. And then as you exhale, press and round. Just tuning into your own spine, moving with your breath. Don't really worry about what it looks like, more about what it feels like. All right, finishing up the round wherever you're at, meeting me in a nice neutral spine. So a lot of the times, especially when we first start to practice, our tendency is to kind of let it all go, relax in the back. See if you can pull the lower ribs and belly button in, tucking the tailbone, and just creating a little bit of a hollow body in the core and engagement there. From this place of stability, take your right arm forward, reach it up, and then set it back down. Left arm comes forward, reach it, and then set it back down. Now take your right leg behind you, tuck the toes, and just push into your hands a little bit. So you're stretching into the calf, heel is reaching to the back end of the mat. And then bring the shoulders back over the wrists, lift your right leg, flex the toes, engage your right glute, and engage the right inner thigh to hold that leg there. Now you're welcome to hold it here, or you can try to take the left arm up, reaching forward. Again, not collapsing in the back, so drawing the lower ribs and belly button in. Breathing in, breathing out. Hold it for one more. Inhale and exhale. Lower it down. Then take your left arm up to the sky. Bring it underneath the body. Set that shoulder down. Let the head settle in for a moment. And then you can reach your right arm up and over. Bicep is coming across the ear. We call this one thread the needle. Now notice, where's the weight shifting in your legs or your hips? See if you can kind of shift the weight so you're evenly pressing through both knees. And that'll kind of intensify this twist a little bit. Start to take that right hand back down in front of your face. Plant it down on your inhale. Take that left arm all the way back up to the sky. And then float it back down. Now send your left leg behind you. Tuck the toes. Again, pushing into your palms, sending your hips back, heel reaching to the back end of the mat, and giving ourselves a nice little calf stretch. Then bring the shoulders back over the wrists. Start to lift that back leg. Left toes are flexing. Glute is firing on. And then thinking about engaging your inner thigh on the left leg. You're welcome to just stay here, or you can reach the right arm forward. Again, remember not to collapse. Lower rib, belly button hugging in, kind of rounding a little bit. Reaching the fingers away, kicking through the heel. Breathing in and breathing out. Set the leg and arm down. On your inhale, take your right hand all the way up to the sky like you have this big wing and you're opening it up. Then on the exhale, take the underneath the body, set the shoulder down, and set the head down. Take time to allow it to get settled, and then you can start to reach that left arm up and over the head. Again, taking a moment, noticing where the weight is shifting. We usually have a tendency to shift it into our left leg. So see if you can shift the hips over to the right a little bit, evening out the pressure in both knees. Breathing in and breathing out. Bring that hand back down in front of the face. On your inhale, press down. Take that right arm all the way back up to the sky. And then float it back down to your mat. From here, let's take the hands just one handprint forward. Tuck your toes. Take a nice big inhale. Then as you exhale, you're going to push, lift the knees, and then send the hips up and back to a downward dog. So downward dog, spread your fingers nice and wide. Grip the mat with your fingertips. Press down into your palms as you reach through the arms, sending your hips up and back. Tailbone kind of turns up towards the sky. And then there's energy going down through the backs of the legs, like your heels are reaching for the mat, but it doesn't matter if they touch or not. Sometimes if our hamstrings are really tight, it can be good to just really generously bend the knees. But continue to press through those arms, kind of reaching the shoulders up by the ears. And then give a little yes, no with the head. So we're relaxing in our neck. Then start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Keep your knees generously bent enough so you can keep those fingertips on your mat. Let the head hang. And then just let the body sway from side to side here. So you're softening down as you sway. Relaxing in the neck and shoulders. I always like to imagine that I'm an elephant trunk, kind of just swaying from side to side. So if that visualization helps, go ahead and put that one in your pocket. Good. Coming back to center. Start to walk your hands forward again, coming back to that downward dog. Fingertips gripping our mat, fingers are spread nice and wide, pressing down into the palms. And then think about wrapping your triceps down towards your mat, biceps up towards the sky, and then pushing into the arms, sending hips up and back. Breathing in and breathing out. One more breath. Maybe take a nice big inhale through the nose. And then exhale through the mouth. Let it go. Start to soften your knees down towards the earth. Take your knees wide. So going out towards the edges of the mat, just going as wide as they want to go. And then bring your big toes together. Sink the hips back towards the heels. Arms are long, and then you can rest your forehead down onto the earth into a wide-legged child's pose. Let's just take a moment to kind of recollect ourselves here. Coming back to that breath, finding a steady inhale and slow exhale. Feeling our hips get heavy, sinking towards our heels. And then maybe walking the hands a little bit wider, just create a little bit more space in the shoulders. You can bend the elbows and kind of flare them out to the side. Sometimes that can feel a little bit better. And then as you inhale, feel the back side of your body expanding up towards the sky. And then on your exhale, see if you can allow the front side of your body to melt towards your mat. On the next inhale, press down into the palms. Lift yourself back up. Hands come back underneath the shoulders, knees back underneath the hips. And then we're just going to make our way down onto our belly. So you can come down onto the forearms and then just send the legs behind you. We're coming into a Sphinx Pose. So with Sphinx Pose, your legs can be a little bit wider, maybe out to the edges of the mat. And then your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Make sure that they're not behind your shoulders because that's going to make it a little uncomfortable. So elbows right underneath the shoulders or a little bit forward. In fact, if this feels extra kind of pinchy in your lower back, extend the arms forward and that should release that pinchiness a little bit. And from here, press your pubic bone down into the mat a little bit. Engage your glute muscles. Not a super big clench, but just a little hugging in. And then press down into the elbows, lift the heart, and hold it here for a few breaths. You can close your eyes if you want to. Breathing in and breathing out. One final breath. Inhale And then exhale, you can come down, bring one hand on top of the other, take your elbows wide, and then just let the forehead rest down on top of those hands. You can wag your hips from side to side too for a little release. And then as you're ready, just start to slowly turn it over onto your back. From here, bend your knees. Bring the heels towards the bum. Now let's bring the knees in towards the chest. Give a little squeeze. Maybe rock from side to side here if that feels good. And then leave the knees where they're at. Take your arms wide into a T shape so they're reaching out from the shoulders in opposite directions. Then you can let your knees fall over to the right side of your mat. And then maybe look in the opposite direction if it feels good on the neck. Trying to soften our shoulders down to the earth. Breathing into the tissues surrounding our spine. Feeling them slowly, gently wrap and hug with the body. Bring your head back to center. On the inhale, take the knees back up. And on your exhale, let the knees fall over to the other side. And again, you can send the gaze in the opposite direction if it feels good on the neck. Relaxing shoulders down to the earth. Sometimes it can feel good to place a hand on top of those knees, kind of anchoring them down. And this will intensify the twist as well. Breathing into your hips, your spine, your shoulders, wherever it is that you are feeling the stretch the most. See if you can just send a little message there with your breath, saying it's okay to release and let go. On the inhale, bring your head back to center, then bring the knees back up. Let's do one final squeeze here. Draw the forehead to the knees on the inhale. And then as you exhale, send your legs long down to the bottom of the mat. Feet can go a little bit wider. Arms down by your side, palms facing up so we get that external rotation in our shoulders. Sometimes it can feel good to kind of sweep our shoulder blades underneath us, and that creates this flatter space in the upper back. You can tuck your chin a little bit to lengthen the back and the neck. Just do any final movements here that you'd like to make yourself feel more settled, more comfortable. And take one final deep belly breath, breathing in through the nose, down into the belly. And then exhale it through the mouth, let it all out. Allowing your body to sink, soften, and melt into the mat. We'll stay here for a few moments and I'll let you know when it's time to come back. Slowly start to wiggle those fingers and toes. Maybe take a few inhales and exhales, just letting that energy move around the body. You can roll your wrists and ankles. Maybe reach the hands overhead for a nice full body stretch. And as you're ready, bend one knee, then the other. Roll off onto your side. You can use your arm as a pillow if you like. You here just kind of yourself, collecting your press yourself back up to a seated position. You're welcome to keep hands in your lap, or if you'd like to join me, you can bring your hands together in front of heart center into Anjali Mudra, which is a gesture that honors the light within us all. Let's end this practice with one final inhale through the nose, and then exhale through the mouth. Let it go. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will catch you in the next one.